All right, so cellular respiration. Just to remind ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, anytime we've got a chemical formula, we always begin with our reactants on the left side of the arrow, and products goes on the right. Now, a quick way to remember that, it's called the PP rule. The arrow always points to products. So as we go through this, let's keep in mind what are we putting into respiration and what are we getting out of it. All right, keep in mind what we are trying to do here is to extract stored energy. We've got to get the energy out of food. So we're going to be starting with food, and we should have some energy on the other side. Now, in order to do this, we've got to put in some oxygen. We're going to have to put in the food itself, glucose, to be specific. And then by the end of the entire process, we're going to get some carbon dioxide, some water, and finally, that energy we've been looking for in the form of ATP, something the cells can actually use. Now, we'll get more into this when you go to chemistry, but ladies and gentlemen, we have to have a balanced equation. For example, the same amount of materials that go into the reaction need to come out of the reaction. So that's going to mean that we end up having to put in molecules of oxygen, and we will get out 6 molecules of CO2 and 6 of water. That way everything balances. Just an example, let's look at this side of the equation. We're putting in 6 carbon atoms, which means we're going to have to get 6 carbon atoms out. Here's our carbon. There's only one of them in carbon dioxide, but we will be making 6 of them, so that balances. 6 on the left side, 6 on the right side. Same thing with hydrogens. We've got 12 over on this side. There isn't any anywhere else. And then we've got some H2O over here. Now there's 2 atoms of hydrogen in H2O, but we've got 6 of them, so that makes 12 and 12. Again, we're just balancing it. So kind of the rule for respiration, everything gets a 6 in front of it except glucose and energy. All right, so moving on. Where is respiration going to happen? Primarily, it's in the mitochondria itself, our powerhouse. But I want you to understand that the steps occur in different spots of the mitochondria. So here, in this diagram, you can see you've got the outer membrane, and then that squiggly inner membrane. Now, the mitochondrial matrix is this spot right here. It's that very, very interior on the inside of the squiggle membrane. That's going to be the mitochondrial matrix. Now, the intermembrane space, just like it says, inter meaning between, is that space between the inner and outer membranes. Now, aerobic respiration, which is what we're going to be discussing, has to occur in the presence of oxygen. Right over here, you can see it in our formula. It's one of the things that has to go into it to make it happen. Now, it's going to be divided into these 3 steps, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the first one next.